or you're the Pistons, right?
Yeah, I got the Pistons. Um, they're believe it or not, they're at the bottom of the East standings. They are sellers, but they're weirdly powerful sellers because they have a couple guys, chiefly Bojan Bogdanovic, that maybe there are other names that have come up more often than his this year as trade candidates, but like I'm not sure. I mean, he may be the number
Maybe
one guy.
Collins,
Maybe Collins, yeah. Maybe I don't know who else. There aren't a lot.
Beasley and GTJ. I would throw up there.
Yeah, he's in the pantheon though of most mentioned trade candidates. Um, I guess my main question for them is like, how serious are they about their asking price for him? Because I think it's reasonable to drive a really hard bargain because, as we've said, like this is the guy that everybody should want, that is should theoretically be available. But I also don't know how. I mean, they're acting like this is going to be the case, but is it really realistic that the Pistons are just going to hang on to him and try to run it back again next year with this whole like we're ready to take a step forward thing and we want the like that feels pretty postury to me. But they haven't moved him yet. I just he's the swing piece for this team. He might be the other than the Raptors like the swing piece for the trade market at this deadline. Um, so that's really my main uncertainty because there are other guys they can trade to, and they should be looking to sell just for everything, which cuts against this idea that we're going to hold on to a couple vets because we think we can be better next year. You know, Sadiq Bey, a much cheaper alternative, still on his rookie scale deal. Alec Burks is really palatable just because he is the scorer, shot creator, hybrid 1-2, I guess more of a 2 lately. But he's 10 million this year and 10.5 as a team option next year, so you get like a lot of leverage and power, and that's just a valuable thing to have. I still don't know if either Bay or Burks is going to get you more than seconds, so I guess that would maybe cut against trying to move them this year. But yeah, this is a seller. I think Bogdanovic should be the most likely player to move, just because the return projects to me as the greatest. I just don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is a scenario where if they don't get, I don't know, what the most recent, we need a legit first, a good young player, and then whatever salary it's going to take. That seems to be what they want. Do you think that's real and they're just not going to move him? Or is that, let's put that out there and we'll settle for a first?
I don't know if this is me snorting the slop too much, but I do believe it because you look at them leading into next year. So they're going to have another high draft pick. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Killian Hayes making improvements this year. Still having Isaiah Stewart. Whatever they see in Sadiq Bey was on the block. Plus cap space. They can still have over $33 million in cap space this summer is what I have them at. They might be under pressure to win. They don't have all these extra first-round picks in the chamber. Cade Cunningham, year 3 at that point. How long has Troy Reaver now been in charge at that juncture? They made the Bogdanovic trade in the first place. And even if they're not under pressure to win, to make a play-in or playoff push, they might see a pathway to doing it because you have Cade and Jaden Ivey in year 2, and improved Killian Hayes, having Jalen Duren, having Bogdanovic, one of the best shooters in the game right now, having Alec Burks, who has that team option. So you could end up keeping him. And Burks has been good this year. The argument for them to trade, but because the other thing here is they don't need to trade any of these guys to suck. They are bad right now. They're going to have top lottery odds. And so if they wanted to wait and say, let's just see how we do next season and we can revisit this. The one flaw in that logic would be, I don't think with Bogdanovic specifically, I would argue that Burks would probably get similar value next year as an expiring contract. Bogdanovic, as a partial guarantee on the second year of his extension, like the peak of his value is right now. The pinnacle is right there. And so if you're going to move him, move him. But if you're not going to get, I would say, a good first round pick while also maybe not having to take back money, where I think that's what also complicates this, is I think they're a team that, because they will feel either pressure or the impetus to try and win, they value that cap space they're about to have. And so if the Heat come along and say, well, we'll give you an unprotected pick this year, but you have to take Duncan Robinson, I'm not sure that Detroit does that deal.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like the Anunoby argument, which is like I don't think the market will be better to move this guy for Bogdanovic than it is right now. I agree with that. And I think I think if I'm them, I kind of answer my own thing. I think it's a little bit posturing because it's just not realistic to get everything that they seem to be asking for. But I do think it is fair for them to say, we need a good first. We don't want
Yeah.
Miami's first, what's going to be like 23rd or whatever it is. Like, we need a
Oh,
good first and put it out a couple years even if you want to. That's fine. Just I want like pretty substantial upside with it. And then whatever salary you need to use to make it work. But like the thing for me with the Pistons is, or a thing, is that I still like Cunningham has shown like real promise. Ivy, real flashes. Jalen Duren, I don't know how easy it is for a non-stretch center to really be a star. Even with those guys, Cunningham's the closest. I'm not positive that he's like the best player on a playoff team going forward. Maybe, probably even, but the injury stuff combined with just they haven't done much when he's been healthy. Like I kind of want more bites at the apple to get the guy that's better than everybody I have. And like that's probably unrealistic or greedy or whatever, but that would be my thought of let's move Bogdanovic now because the value is going down and maybe my best chance to get another lottery ticket is today and it might not be there next summer. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's some posturing, but some of it's justified. But then I think you still need more lottery tickets than the Pistons have.
which I can already tell that you're not going to like my trade. So who's your most likely player to be traded? Is Bojan Bogdanovic?
I guess, but like Burks or Bay are right there. I
I
think.
have Burks because I thought the asking price on him would be lower.
Oh
That is
yeah,
just what is just like that's so it seems like easier for him to move. You're not going to like my deal. I could tell already. And I was kind of on the fence on it, but Duncan Robinson, Nikola Jovic, the Miami Heat's 2023 first round pick and 2028 second round pick for Bojan Bogdanovic.
yeah. It's not quite there because Robinson's salary is not what
Yeah,
I.
he has 3 years and like 55 million left about
Yeah,
after this
not
one.
super interested in that. Um, and that first is I know it's got top four protection on it, but like yeah, the upside on that in 23 is I don't know.
Especially when you're giving them bananas. Because like right now, I like the Heat are not, I will say, not inoculated against disaster, so to
Yeah,
speak, but like they do have a top 10 record as we're recording this. And so like that's with Kyle, that's with them missing a ton of people missing a ton of games. That's with Kyle Lowry not being that great this year. So there's definitely like the element of okay, well, what that's not really a good first round pick.
Yeah, and I mean, like Jesus, like Bogdanovich would make them so much better. Like he would,
Yeah.
he would fix so much of what's going on with them. Even though
I
they are,
just don't know what I don't know what team would give up the first round pick that I think gets it done for Detroit because I don't even think does the Lakers 2027 first round pick do it because now you're saying well the primary asset is something that's not going to convey until 5 drafts from now.
yeah. Well, that's always the issue with a situation like this is the teams that should want the guy are good, and the first that they're giving up, unless you punt them way out, are just not
Right.
going to be that good. So it's like, how far out do you need to go for the team that has the veteran, the bad team with the veteran to move to be persuaded? Like, okay, this is enough. Like the potential upside of this one is enough. I mean, that 27 first from the Lakers to me is a hell of a lot better than a 23 first from the Heat this year.
Correct. I would agree.
But even then, it's like, should the Lakers even do that? Because I don't know if he puts them over the top like he might for the Heat.